All right, here we are. Love Them Knives channel. Welcome. LTK here. What do we got? We have one of those knives we should never talk about because too many people are buying them. I wish they'd stop. I wish they'd stop bidding on them. I could get one here or there for very little money. They sell these, primarily, you can get these, some of the TwoSun knives on dhgate.com, or maybe, I haven't even looked on AliExpress for them, or Amazon. I believe you can get some of them on Amazon, and they're getting some money for them on Amazon. But mostly eBay, and they throw them up for bid, and then magically the bid price rises and rises with all these unnamed bidders, which, let's just not go down that road. But apparently the unnamed bidders end up not bidding beyond a certain price point, and then I guess that's your approved buy level for the other people that actually buy them. So in any case, I don't know why they just don't start out the bidding at the minimum that they're willing to take for the knife and let, things go as they may, but they don't. In any case, this did not, I don't know if this came off of eBay or not, but it's not mine. It came from Mike in Tampa. He sent this to me. He sent several TwoSun knives to me because I'd kind of been jonesing for him, and then he gets more exposure to them as far as them coming and going in his world than I do in my world with my limited budget. So he says, hey, I'll ship you some over and check them out. Night Morning Design D2 Steel Blade TS56. That's what this model is. They don't put the model name on the knife. They don't put the model name on the box. I put the model name on the box because I have several boxes floating around and I want to know which knife goes in which box. And when I open the box, I want to know. And so I I usually put it on the bottom of the box. I didn't put it on this one, but usually I put it on the bottom because the box comes apart, right? So then you got a bottom that you need to match with the top, but whatever. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. It comes in a little pouch, a little bit of bubble wrap, or just some kind of saran wrap or that kind of thing, cellophane type wrap, and it's usually very wet. You could squeegee the knife off and have a bottle of oil like that. It's just ridiculous. Needless to say, this D2 is not going to rust in its transit from China to the U.S. Titanium frame lock flipper, bearings on the pivot. I've taken them apart before, and I guess I just don't have any pictures of a disassembled TwoSun for this review, and I guess I should. Take a look at some of my other recent TwoSun knife reviews, and you'll see the bearings. They're ceramic bearings, ceramic detent, and good action on them. Which, if you take it apart, clean it out, put it back together, maybe that'll improve. This one I have not touched, and this is almost a little bit too on the guillotine side, but I'm not going to mess with it. It's not that bad. And you could always tighten that up a little bit on the pivot if you want. See, here's the pivot on the front, which is nicely machined. The screws, nicely machined. I can't remember. I think you can probably pick these up now for about $57, $58. You might be able to do better if you follow the auctions. So that's not bad for the nice machined screws. Look at all the machining that goes on these scales. That's some work there. And see this area, and I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't know why, but it's done like that. And I don't know if that's supposed to be a tactical pivot area for going reverse grip or what, but in any case, I've seen them with the with the indents on the ends where you can spin them around, but don't know. I mean, there's no, big like palm swells and finger choils and stuff on this. So as far as incredible, just intuitive comfort on this knife, no. But is it adequate? Yeah. It's okay. I mean, you kind of got to kick in here where you got this finger up here and then these kind of fit in here and this could go back, in this area. Yeah. But I mean, not every knife has, just blends itself or lends itself to incredible ergos necessarily, because they're going after some design stuff. And, Night Morning never sleeps, so he doesn't know the difference between night and morning. I swear to God. You look at his Instagram, and I'll put the link to his Instagram on and there's a TwoSun 2017 Instagram, and then there's just a TwoSun Knives Instagram, so you can look on there and kind of see what they got going on. But it's a good size knife. This one is. Let's take the Paramilitary 2, for instance. Wow. I mean, this is a 5-inch handle. This is an almost 3.5-inch blade. Even throwing it down here, changing the aspect ratio. Whew, still not making it, is it? This is 8 1/4 overall, which, begs the question, how big an old boy are you? Well, let's find out. And we're a pretty big old boy. Almost 4-inch blade, really 3 7/8, which is about almost 100 millimeters. It's just maybe 99. 8, not quite 5/8. So when you stretch past and you get not quite to 22 centimeters, we're a lot of not quites. This knife is not quite long by not quite wide by not, okay, I'm saying not quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's 21 3/4 centimeters, somewhere in there. So yeah, it's a pretty decent sized knife. Let's take a look at the blade stock. Let's make sure we zero out somewhere in here. Are we zeroed? No. Can we get, there we can go. We can get zeroed now. Yeah, 3.6, 3.7 millimeter, 0.14 blade stock. Let's see if we got a overall fatness. Yeah, it's not really that thick. 0.45 of an inch, which is 11.6 millimeters. It's not that fat. So it's about the same fatness as maybe a PM2, which is nice, slender, easy carry there. Longer overall, but not by a lot. This is 8.6. This is 8.25, so not a huge difference, as far as that goes. But, the fit and finish on these knives is pretty good. I just, like throwing up a TwoSun every once in a while because I get a lot of people saying, there's so many new designs out there. Hey, LTK, you gonna talk about any of them? And I guess there's, well, I don't know. I haven't really looked around on YouTube, but I don't see like tons. I mean, you come out with a new Paramilitary or a new, Spyderco or Benchmade, Cold Steel or whatever model, there's going to be, 30, 40 reviews pop up. TwoSun knives, not so much, especially in English, So the Russians, they get it. I see a lot of stuff in Russian on a lot of these knives that are, shall we say, not the ultra approved brand to be talking about by the knife noblesse oblige people. So being a renegade that I am, and a complete revolutionary, I'm doing this just probably out of, out of just protest. But these are intriguing designs. I mean, you go on Night Morning Instagram and you see all the designs he's coming up with, and there's all these likes, and the guy's doing a great job. How do you just ignore these knives? I don't know. You know, and they do some of their knives in, hold on, in M390 as well, right? This is that TS88. Okay, it's tenon and mortise. And so there's no screws to this. You just, I mean, they give you a little thing, kicks in this hole. You pull this back from here and you put it in the end of here, that little tool, and you pop this up and it all falls apart. So, and if you see my review, you will see how poorly I do at disassembling and reassembling, but I never saw even a review on this, much less anybody actually taking it apart and putting it back together. And I thought, what? Okay, what? God forbid. And this is the TS57. So this will be in an upcoming review. Unless I release this review before I release the 56. But in any case, yeah, and I'll try and put, I mean, just go on eBay and type in TwoSun knife and, you know, gobs and gobs of listings will come down. Or you can do that on Amazon, or you can go on dhgate.com and type in TwoSun knife, and you know, you'll get the listings. So I don't really need to give you a link. I kind of hate to give you a link. They kind of come and go as things do. So I mean, it dates the video and it makes it to where I have to update links. In any case, how much does this dog weigh? Let's get the scales out here. Where do we throw my little scale? I don't have the big one anymore. Well, I do, but I just didn't want to. This is so much more convenient. Grams. If you can see the readout here. Yeah, almost 137 grams. So let's kick it back around to ounces. 4.8. So it's a good sized knife. It's solid titanium, D2, and it's under 5 ounces. So that's really not that bad. Pretty good thickness as far as the blade steel goes, 3.6 millimeters. This one's fairly slender. Look at the pass-through. That may be one thing that'll kind of bug you, is this pass-through. And here's your lockup, as I did not mention earlier. Probably about 25%, somewhere in there, maybe eaching up to about 28. Yeah, put you out here, buddy. This kind of jimping up here, it's, you know, you can feel it. Yeah, it could work. It's not very aggressive, so it's fairly smooth. I don't know how effective that would be, but it gives you something. You've got a little choil here, so you've got some place to go with your sharpener and not, you know, run into other structures. So that's good for that, you know, that situation, but no real, you know, choke up area. And the grind on this knife blade is probably not the most usable in the world. But, you know, you get into that night morning, he's all about styling. And, you know, there's lots of knives out there for practicality. So if you want something practical, you know, get fancy out, right? Get that PM2, full flat grind, piercing, slicing, no problem. Great deal. This one, no, not the same, but can you? Yeah, you can do some slicing with this. Can you do piercing? Yeah, and you got a lot of blade stock up here reinforcing this tip. But as far as resharpening and stuff, it makes it a little bit more of an issue. Not a lot, but yes, some, depending on how experienced you are sharpening knives. Got a little bit of a backspacer, which is nice with an integrated lanyard hole. So they did think about that. And, you know, there's texturing, jimping here. So you got jimping on top here and on top here. Nothing really down here. And the pass-through, nothing to brag about, although this is not as difficult as I was thinking it might be with no more than it has here, which is basically zero pass-through. And even though this is a fairly thin between the scales, it's not that much of a pain. There are some knives where either that lock bar is really so stiff or even a little thinner than that at the edge where it becomes really dig your thumb in there. And this one you kind of have to a little bit, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And there's no blade play or lock rock on this. Nothing there and nothing there. Yeah, well-made knife. I mean, for whatever, 57 bucks. And I guess, you know, Mike sent these on to me, so they will go on my next table sale or something. So I'm not turning around and sending them back to him. I really don't like to get knives from people and then ship them back. I hate to be responsible for whether they get lost or damaged in shipping. So if they come to me and then they're supposed to just go out on sale, okay, that'll work better. So in any case, it does give me the opportunity to get my hands on this knife and not have to buy it. And, you know, he wasn't in a big hurry, so I got to keep this for a while and just check it out. Of course, I'm not, you know, toting it around, but yeah, it gives you some hands-on with it. I like it. Good-looking knife. Just thought maybe you'd be interested in at least seeing it and getting my impressions. But I mean, these night morning designs and these TwoSun knives, and some of them are not night morning designs. I don't want to confuse you there, but yeah, they're really pretty solid knives. They're not expensive. There's a lot of knives, you know, out in the marketplace that cost you $150, $200, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, I mean, to be able to latch on to a knife of this quality for in the $50 to $60 range is really good, I think. And it really leaves a lot of room for a little knife pimping too. You could really do a lot of stuff with the ano on these too, if you wanted to. So, hey, thank you so much for joining me and Mr. Flanagan on our TwoSun adventure. Yes, because you know what we do around here. What do we do, Flan? We love them knives, so stay sharp.